I'm Gary Hunter, a marketing professor.
What would you think of when you say, what is marketing strategy? That's really kind of what this block is like. What is marketing strategy? Peter Drucker, who's Peter Drucker? One of the foremost management scholars of all time. Peter Drucker's like a real, he's one of the top 5 guys in management of all time, right? He says the purpose of business is to create a customer. So this isn't a marketing guy per se. This is basically a management scholar who basically says this is kind of what business is about. You got to create a customer. And so when you try to create a customer, one of the things you're trying to create is you're trying to create offerings to that customer that offer value. So I turned to Val Zeithaml, who's North Carolina professor. She basically has defined value. It's basically the consumer's overall assessment of the utility of the product based on the perception of what is received versus what is given. So if you look at that, what is received versus what is given? What do I receive for what I give? So I may give money, I may give other things, I may give time, I may give other effort, I may give sweat equity. What is it that I have to give to get something back? And so if I'm going to give somebody something back, that's kind of the essence of value. It's kind of the difference in that comparison of what is received versus what is given. So those are kind of fundamental building blocks of this idea of value. These components, basically these 4 components, make up kind of the definition that the American Marketing Association uses for defining marketing. So when they say what is marketing, they're going to use the idea of creating, right? Creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging what? Value, right? So how do you create value? How do you communicate value? How do you deliver value? And then how do you exchange value? So this is kind of the essence of the American Marketing Association's definition of marketing, right? So that's basically kind of defining what is marketing. So anything and everything that we can change about the offering is basically marketing mix. So the marketing mix and the target market are the 2 major components of marketing strategy. Right? So that's what you're trying to get. If you think about value, well, value kind of exists in that space between the target market and the marketing mix. The way the target market thinks about what we're offering helps us to get at this idea of value.
This is an age-old debate between reason and emotion, and it fundamentally is what marketing focuses upon. Marketing seeks to influence wants, to overcome rational objections to that influence, and ultimately to shape or reshape those internal dispositions more positively in favor of their brands. Thus, marketers want brands to evoke positive imagery and associations with the customers who exchange products with them. In essence, marketing starts by understanding your needs, your reasoning, but works by influencing your wants. This slide is bold, and it seeks basically to describe the process of the gist of marketing. In my mind, the gist of marketing starts with some underlying human need. Those needs can be either predominantly physiological, or which is exemplified by thirst or hunger, or psychological, as would be exemplified by, say for example, one's need for safety, security, or belonging.
And it's from those psychological and physiological needs or wants that demand is ultimately created, demand for different products, right? So from economics, we'll talk a lot about demand. So we're often trying to figure out, okay, what's the demand for different products, and which of those products we want to supply, right? So as marketers, we're monitoring these different physiological or psychological needs to try to find these unmet needs, right? So we're trying to say what's out there that creates some discomfort. Because essentially discomfort is this idea that there's some reality, some actual state, and some desired state. I have a desired state, which is, maybe I want water or I'm thirsty, or maybe I want coffee because it's been a long day and now I'm getting to this intense substance. So maybe my actual state is I don't have coffee, but I need coffee. You see, that would be kind of the idea of unmet needs, right? So you get these different unmet needs that are out there. If someone kind of into that thing, and so marketers are kind of develop products to relieve these states of discomfort, right? So when they relieve these states of discomfort, what can happen is these undesired outputs, right? Okay, so you've heard the term buyer's remorse, right? Have you guys heard the term buyer's remorse before today? Before the video, right? What is buyer's remorse?
Regret for money.
Yeah, you regret the purchase that you made. So this happens a lot of times when essentially cognitive dissonance creeps in, right? So what is cognitive dissonance? You could have got some, a lot of times the distances, there was something else that I could have had, right? I could have, instead of doing my MBA at Clemson, I could have gone to South Carolina. University of South Carolina. Right? So now that I'm at Clemson, I'm hearing all this Go Tigers talk, I'm thinking, my gosh, why did I not go to South Carolina? Right? That's basically, if two things are kind of close, in this case maybe they're not, like Clemson's up here, South Carolina's kind of, but you can imagine they're more equivalent, right? And I'm asking you to kind of use some creativity here, and say these are kind of real close kind of options. Clemson or South Carolina, close options. I can do an NDA at one or I can do an NDA at other. And so then if I chose one versus the other, I might have this buyer's remorse. So if the choices are pretty close, that kind of adds to this feeling of buyer's remorse. I use this thing, I could have had a V8 because that's an old slogan, an old marketing slogan that's basically kind of about V8s. Do you know what a V8 is? Does anyone remember the slogan? You do? No?
Just gotta have a treat, oh, but you shouldn't eat. Wow, I could have had a V8. Snacking the whole night through, oh, what that does to you.
Wow, I could have had a V8.
V8 cocktail vegetable juice tastes great and is naturally low in calories. Just 35 calories a 6-ounce serving. But remember, the time to think of having a V8 is before you've had something else.
Wow, I could have had a V8.
This has potassium. The same amount as this. It's a post-workout snack you don't have to peel. V8. The V is for vegetables. Drink some.
So the slogan was, wow, I could have V8. That was kind of the idea that kind of stimulated a lot of that thought. And it was really kind of an idea about buyer's remorse. It's really trying to capitalize on buyer's remorse. And V8 would use that commercial basically to try to say when people didn't buy V8, it was basically a tomato juice product, right? That they could have had a V8 when they didn't have a V8. So it's one of those things that kind of capitalize or probe this buyer's remorse feeling. So that the next time, instead of going back to the other feeling of satisfaction, right, that's kind of what the marketer is trying to achieve. Marketers on the desired outcome, they're trying to achieve satisfaction, right? So if they achieve satisfaction, then you're basically going to get repeat purchases. So repeat purchases is kind of the name of the game in marketing. It's rarely for one purchase, right? It's rarely going to be focused on the idea of how do I get somebody to buy something once. There are some marketing approaches that are just trying to get one sale, but typically marketers are trying to achieve this satisfaction so that they can kind of continue to get repeat purchases over time. Okay, so there's also this idea of satiation of products, that those expectations satiate over time. So as your competitors kind of offer more than what they were offering in the past, and they kind of close the gap on this buyer's remorse thing, South Carolina's NDA program gets better, they hire better faculty, they end up in a better location. Somebody realizes, we're going to get out of Columbia. They end up with a better football team. Imagine that, right? That would be really hard. You have all these different things that kind of help contribute to making South Carolina a stronger program, right? If you can make South Carolina this strong program, then basically that raises the expectations that people have. So now Clemson's kind of got this football team. We expect to compete for the national championship, right? And the idea that we're not in the 4. We can see Ohio State ruled them out. Who ruled out Ohio State? What do you guys think, right? So we can totally like to go to Ohio State and rule them out. They want to be in the Final Four, right? They want to be like Clemson. Everybody wants to be like, well, we're going to be one of the Final Four. It's just a question of who are the other 3. Sort of like us in Alabama right now, right? We know it's those 2 are going to be 2 of the 4. So the competition's for the other 2 spots. That's kind of where it is, right? So this is kind of expectations satiate over time. So these expectations that Clemson is going to have that kind of a football team kind of goes up. So the expectations of the football team kind of get higher. So if they don't end up being, let's say Clemson has a less than top 20 year this year. It would be pretty disappointing, right? So that would be kind of a real frustrating kind of thing, right? So that's kind of the idea of kind of the gist of how marketing works, the gist of how satisfaction comes into play, the gist of how buyer's remorse happens. So when you're thinking about value, right, there are kind of 2 things that you want to think about when you're putting together a value proposition. So what is a value proposition?
What should be obvious to all, even the think big segment out there, in considering markets, is the reality that marketers cannot serve and satisfy the needs of all prospective markets. Thus, marketers face the task of creating or crafting value propositions that represent implicit promises by the marketer to deliver benefits that exceed cost from the perspective of those comprising the target markets. To refine a value proposition, marketers should consider their offering from the customer's perspective. In particular, it's helpful to identify which benefits are most important. These could be considered along a vertical axis. In considering each of these benefits, it's also helpful to think about how one compares with potential competitors. One's competitive advantage, which simply refers to a superior ability relative to competitors in offering that benefit to the market, can be considered along a horizontal axis. This juxtaposition establishes a 2x2 matrix in which points of difference that one should emphasize emerge. This conceptual framework is also helpful in identifying irrelevant weaknesses and strengths, and importantly, with anticipating buyer objections. While there are applications to all of this material, a typical application for preparing for buyers' objections resides in professional selling. Responses to such buyers' objections become an important element in a marketer's preparation for a two-way exchange with the target market. For salespeople, this may occur with business buying accounts of critical importance to the marketing firm, a domain often referred to as strategic account management. Of course, two-way communications is the fundamental value offered through a marketer's strategy to use professional selling as a component in the marketing mix.
So we're kind of low in terms of importance to the customer, and we're low in terms of our ability. That puts us in the lower left-hand block on this thing. What does that block? What does that block mean to you? If it's not important to the customer, if we don't do it very well, what's that space? So you can use your own words. See, that's what I'm trying to get you to do is think about, if there's a space where, it's not important to the customer, we don't do it well, it doesn't matter. It's like whatever, it's a meaningless space, right? It's like irrelevant, just an irrelevant space. It's here we call it an irrelevant weakness, because we're kind of framing it in terms of like, what are we good at, what are we weak at, what are we strong at? So if there's something that we're really good at, right, but it doesn't matter to the customer, that's kind of just going across the horizontal. So we're high in terms of, this is something we're really good at, we're strong in terms of this particular capability, but it doesn't matter to the customer. So then what? What's that called? See, the 2x2, that's just an irrelevant strength, right? We're good at it, but it doesn't really matter to them, so it's totally irrelevant. Okay, so on the flip side, now something can be really important to customers. So this is an important space for sales. So anytime you're kind of prepping a sales call, some of you guys have worked in sales and stuff like that. This is the space you live in, right? This is totally the space you live in, because when you're prepping your sales presentation, or you're prepping your pitch, you know that there's something that's really important to the customer, but we're not very good at that. Our competitors are better at that, right? So that's basically where you're going to get objections. So the same thing works in consumer markets, business markets. That's where they're going to basically object to the offering, right? Because they know we're not very strong at it. This is a weakness. So we need to have something that's a con that we need to be able to address and say, well, yeah, we know that's really important to you, but here's why we can make it for it, right? South Carolina's football team isn't very good, but as a trade-off for that, we have a good basketball team, right? They have a good basketball team, don't they? Okay, so see, this is kind of buyer objections. So, right, so you're trying to frame things in terms of like, what are the buyer objections that are there? We have a good basketball team, we have fun stuff now, right? So I had Gabe Bow in my class. He was a really awesome guy. You guys know who Gabe is? Gabe was a senior last year, great point guard, phenomenal guy, really good kid. So Clemson is kind of recovering with basketball, so I can't give South Carolina all that basketball stuff, right? But in the upper right-hand quadrant, where it's really important to the customer, and it's also sort of, we're very good at it. That's the sweet spot, that's the space. So when we find customers, right, so we define the target, we define the customer, we decide which customers we're going to go after. We're totally in charge of this, right? So I'm talking about it mostly as a marketer, but a good way to think about this, and I use this a lot in my sales classes, as a pitch, right? So if you think about it as a pitch yourself exercise, right? How do you pitch yourself? Well, you're often thinking about who are the employers out there, right? And you're going to say, okay, well, some of these employers want me to be really good at something that I'm not good at, right? So those are going to be areas where they're going to have objections. So I know I can go after those jobs. Those are jobs where maybe they say, I want you to have have 10 years of marketing experience in brand management, right? And you say, well, okay, I don't have 10 years of marketing experience in brand management, but I can make up for it because it's really accelerated MBA program, so I'm ready to kind of do this, right? So this is kind of the way you might go at a buyer's objection by saying I'm going to go after some of those jobs. But some people aren't going to say that. Some people are going to say, well, we don't need you to have 10 years of experience, right? So they might have other things that they want that you actually are good at. And then you're going to try to say, okay, well, how do I match up with my skills and my strengths? Where do they match up with these different target markets? And those become kind of the sweet spot for your job search, right? So value propositions are kind of the same, it's the same idea, right? What you're doing with products and what you're doing with offerings, the same thing you're doing when you go out to do your job market, try to figure out who you want to pitch, or where do you want to look for jobs, or where do you want to try to apply for work, right? So that's kind of a way to think, a simple way to frame kind of value propositions.
The value proposition and accompanying the strategy represents the marketing communication of value to the consumer. The value proposition should be pithy and should highlight precisely what a consumer should consider in the offering. It should emphasize the reason and emotion that makes the product fit with the consumer's need. For years, as an example, which many of you may be familiar, I've used the 30-second pitch or the elevator pitch as an exercise to help people figure out learn how to craft and refine value propositions.
Are your customers satisfied with the quality of service they receive? Are you sure? Hello, my name is Ariane Austin, and I have 17 years of healthcare experience, both in hospital and retail settings. I'm also an expert in operations management with a specialty in process improvement. Contact me, and we can work together to provide your customers with the best experience possible. Thank you.
All the best with your efforts to master marketing and sales. I'm Gary Hunter, and I hope you have a great day.